Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Lisa's Love and Light. Thank you all for being here today. Um, I wanted to be here a little bit earlier today, but I had to go and do that. Um, Update my sticker for the inspection because I think the first is on Thursday. Wanted to get that out of the way. And uh, it's like I have to change some tires and then go back again and have it redone. But anyway, on the way back from having that done, you know how people get crazy on the road, road rage, etc. And I was turning at the light at the corner, and this guy behind me, maybe I wasn't going fast enough. You're supposed to slow down a little bit when you're turning, right? The corner. So he was like on the back of my tail. And sometimes I think these things are tests because, I used to really get like really pissed off. But I'm like taking a deep breath because he had been on me for a while on the back. You know how people are just driving almost directly on the back of your tail end? And so he was doing that. But as we turned the corner, right, an ambulance was coming and put on the sirens. And I saw him, I don't know, he did something like that or whatever. And he didn't stop. I pulled over to the side, put my hazards on so the ambulance can pass. And he kept going. And then the ambulance blew the horn or something at him. But here's the thing, guys. When he kept going, a cop, I swear to you, I didn't see this cop car. It was way up, like on the right hand side. It came out of nowhere. And I'm like, sweet justice, and came out and pulled him over because he didn't stop for the ambulance. He kept going and he waved his hand like whatever kind of attitude. And I'm looking at this like, are you kidding me? And the cop pulled him over. And I just drove past saying to myself, checkmate, because these people on the road, they just crazy. I've seen people go through red lights. I mean, they're hitting the accelerator and all sorts of crazy stuff. So, especially when the weather is not that good outside, like, some people are being careful, of course, but some of them are not. And if they're in a rush to get somewhere, if you get pulled over, hey, it's a wrap. But anyway, I thought I would share that because I see a lot of stuff going on the road, and it seemed like these people are getting away with it, but this guy didn't. So I hope you guys are doing good. It's Monday. Monday is hard. It's like, but it's the beginning of the week. I have my tea. I'm doing better, guys, but not where I want to be with this yet. I'm drinking more tea so that I can drink less coffee because the doctor doesn't want me to have. I was doing like 5 or 6 cups a day. Now I'm down to two. So I'm trying, and then I'm eating more healthier, like more vegetables and salads and stuff like that. I'll throw something in there that I like, but I'm trying hard to eat less of all the other stuff that she doesn't want me to eat. Well, I can have less of it. She didn't say not to eat it altogether, but any event, I am starting to feel better because I'm doing that, especially with the vegetables and salad. And the tea, this is sometimes I have green tea, but this is tea for the immune system, like when you start to feel sluggish and whatever. And you guys can get this at Walmart, where the coffee section is. They have all types of teas, chamomile tea, all types of stuff if you're a tea drinker. So but it helps. It's been helping because I was feeling a little bit like out of it, and I started to drink this and I feel better. So, with that being said, let's get into this topic of discussion today. I hope you all are doing well. And for newcomers here, this is a no judgment zone. We talk about grief and healing on this channel to help other people. I'm not a therapist, I don't have a degree in social work, or I'm not a therapist or any type of certification. I'm someone who went through a lot of loss and grief during the shutdown. And I talk about ways that I get through it and how I stay on this path to heal. I'm also a 9/11 survivor. I went through that. Um, wasn't in the World Trade Center, but was driving through Manhattan. Actually, I was crossing the Queensboro Bridge when the first plane hit and the second plane. So if you go back a few videos, you'll find that and you can hear the story there. But, healing is everything to me today. So I talk about some ways that I get through a lot of pain, anguish, and trigger moments of grief. So we're going to talk about it here, and hopefully the information that's being shared here can help you as well to grow and to heal. So the topic of discussion is never allow fear to stop your healing. Now, sometimes we get afraid to get on this path to heal. And I know for me, I didn't want to do it at first, but it was necessary because, like I said, it was a like I was at a point where I needed to swim or drown, sort of. That's how low things and bad things had gotten back then. And I trust God. I started to get into prayer more, meditation, and taking care of myself. But before I got to that point, I had to do the work. It's not easy, people. None of this is easy because you have to look at yourself and go within and see what you can change. And what I had to learn is to change my perspective on life in general, and change the way I look at things, change the way I do things. I was a person who was very subservient to other people, and I just thought more of what their needs were instead of my own needs. So putting the needs of everybody else while everything within me was lacking. And I did that for years. And now, I had to learn that I had to take care of me because I was falling apart, and the folks I had around me didn't seem to care about the things that was happening to me. It was a lot of toxicity, a lot of drama, a lot of craziness, and I had to clean that up. And so I put myself into grief therapy. All of this started to come to light when my mom died. I mean, on top of a ball of all of these people dying and situation after situation, it started to really get to me after my mom died and my dog, because he passed away after. And, it was just, I had to change things in my life. And fear took over for a minute because as I went into therapy with my therapist, um, he would never say you got to do A, B, C, and D. He would just say, Lisa, set boundaries, because boundaries is going to help you, with your situation. Make a pros and a con list of each situation that you have that makes you uncomfortable, fearful, etc. And I started to do that. At first, I wasn't doing anything but mumbling and grumbling, didn't want to do the work, was feeling bitter, about all these deaths, asking God why all this was happening. But a mirror was put up in front of my face, and I had to do the work and see what was lacking in my own life, to the point where why was I being subservient to other people? Why I was putting their needs before my own needs. And as I start to do the work, I start to realize why I was doing those things, because something within me was missing. I wasn't taking care of me. And it's always important to put yourself as a priority. And when I say put yourself as a priority, your needs matter. You matter, regardless of what everyone else is doing and saying, and regardless of the noise and craziness that might be around you. You matter, and you have to prioritize that. And it wasn't easy for me to do that because I wasn't the type of person to be aggressive as to say what was bothering me. Like if someone did something to hurt me or whether it was intentionally or not intentionally. And I didn't know how to deal with it. I was walking on a tightrope around people who were narcissistic and just doing the most. And I learned as I started to get on the bandwagon of doing the work, and looking at myself, looking at my situation, why these things were like this. I started to realize, after the tears and pain and anguish and on my knees, crawling around and hurting and in pain. I mean, so much pain. And one day after, like praying to God all the time, asking him why, in the beginning, yelling at God and just going through all of that. And then one day I got up and I said, enough, especially a few times after I did a pros and con list of the people and situations that I had around me. And the con list outweighed the pro list. And I started to see, things in a different perspective. My therapist would never tell me what to do, but we would have conversations about toxic situations that were in my life, toxic people that I had around me. And it didn't matter if it was family, if it was friends, business situation, whatever. I had to learn how to speak up, stand up for myself. And that was something that caused me fear, because, if I stand up for myself, these people, how are they going to react? What are they going to do? Etc. Because all my life as a kid, people, I was bullied. I was that kid who was different from everybody else. While everybody else is hanging out and doing stuff, I rather read a book. That nerdy kid, history was my thing. Reading books and movies associated with love stories and etc. And I was that wimpy kid that everybody loved to pick up pick on. Sorry. Um and I was the one. I went through high school that way. And I think I must have been like 92 pounds when I graduated. Didn't start gaining weight really until I had my son. But in school, people just saw me as different because I was never popular, never this and that. And right now we have this online school reunion. And guys, I don't know what it is, but my picture and things on there, how I am today, people are like shook. And I have like 130 something visits and messages I can't even answer because of it. Are you the Lisa Vaughn that went to blah blah school and blah blah? Yes, I am. Oh wow. And they, the comments of how I'm not the same. I'm not the same because healing. I'm not the same as of 4 years ago, 3 years ago, because I'm on this bandwagon to heal and I'm very serious and focused. At first, I wasn't. I was actually fearful, of how, excuse me, of how it would change me and how people would react to me. Excuse me, people. So it was fearful, it was frightening. And it was really a challenge because I didn't know how to stand up for myself, but I learned very quickly how to do so. So never give up on your healing because you face challenges. In the beginning, when you start doing this, you're going to face a lot of challenges. And I would not be truthful if I told you this is going to be easy and happy ever after. No, it's a lot of work because it's a lot of looking at yourself, why you allow toxicity or other situations in your life that doesn't serve your higher purpose, etc. and so forth. And I had to do all of it. And my self-esteem at that time was so low. And thinking that I deserve certain situations. And as I started to do the work, one day I woke up and say, I don't deserve this shit. And, just like that, woke up, I don't deserve this. And, that song, We're Not Going to Take It Anymore, and I started playing that, getting into that, because I express myself a lot through music. My best friend, who's in my life now, we talk and we have these conversations. And she says, "Oh, you're not the same Lisa, as I was." Of course, we all grow up, but when I talk to her and express myself with things, then I'll in the middle of a conversation, a serious conversation, I may start singing a song, and she start cracking up because that's what I do to express that. And and it'll be something silly, but the point gets across, and she starts laughing. Like, let me give you an example. I don't know if I should say this on here, but I'm going to say it. I don't want you guys to think I'm crazy, but I like humor and stuff like that. I was thinking about doing this, and I said this may be over the top. When I was going to use an illustration, I was going to actually come on here with a duck, a real duck. You guys gonna laugh at me. And I was going to show it looks like a duck, it walks like a duck, it's talking like a duck, so it must be a duck. But then I said, oh, people might get the wrong impression if I do it like that. But that's what I was thinking about doing, using that as a metaphor, because I like to do things like that because it stays in people's mind. Oh wow, this girl is, but the message that I'm getting across stays with the person or individuals watching these videos. But anyway, we'll see what I'll do in the future. Um, it's important to know that as you get on this path, that you're going to have challenges, and the challenges are going to probably, some of them can shake you to your very core, because the realization of things that you didn't realize before, because of the grief and because of the all the different emotions you have when you lose a loved one, or you have some sort of traumatic experience that happened in your life. And when the clouds start to dissipate, you start to see clearly, like the song "I Can See Clearly Now." um you start to look around you and see all this toxicity, all this, that you don't want in your life. Because the longer it lingers and stays there, the harder it is for you to heal. To heal anything, if you have a lot of toxicity and people who bring that to the table and drama and all that stuff, it's hard to heal under those circumstances. When I look at toxicity and drama, I think it belongs on the reality TV shows, not in real life. Not for me anyway. And it was hard for me to do this because I was scared in the beginning. I'll be honest, fearful that what people are going to do, how they're going to respond. And as I did the pro and con list, I started to get pissed off, because the cons outweighed the pros and the stuff that was doing. And I started to find out stuff that was really happening, how people really felt who were in my life, family, otherwise. And as I started to heal, I started to self love. And one of the ways I heal is through music, listening to a playlist of music, doing puzzles, listening to meditation and prayer. Lots of prayer with God. And the way I pray to God, I have conversations. That's my prayer thing with Him. And positive affirmations on a daily basis, doing all those things. Engaging myself in things that I like, comedy shows, doing puzzles and things. And as I continue on, and then therapy every week, I start to feel better. As you do the healing work, you start to feel better. Then, as you start to feel better, you start to self love. It's important that I had to minimize toxicity in my life so that I could stay on the path to heal. Otherwise, it would have been difficult, because how am I going to heal if I still have all these toxic individuals and situations, in my life, and I'm too afraid to address it? So I had to address it. And my therapist was very patient with me on doing this. And one day, something happened that was really toxic. And I said, I got to address this. And I did. And even though I was scared and nervous and shaking, I did it. And then I told my therapist I did it. And he was like, yeah, that's step one, you know. And another thing I decided to do after doing the pro and con list, and realizing all this stuff and how people that were in my life at that time truly felt about me, what I decided to do is leave the past behind me. leave the past in the past, and to embrace new beginnings. Because, I would address the issue, and it was up to I was not just address it, but I would set boundaries. But the toxic people who were really toxic started to cross those boundaries. And then I would emphasize again the boundary, and they cross it again. And what I did is just cut it all off, left the past behind, because it was important for me to stay on this path to heal. I am a priority. And then I started to really do the work as I started to self love myself. The fear started to subside as I took another step. Like I said, these things are one step at a time, one day at a time. It doesn't happen overnight, it's a process. And it's important to reflect on the peace and the growth that you will have if you stay focused on healing and self love. It's not going to be easy, but think about the rewards of it down the line. The rewards of it is having peace, tranquility, having peace instead of being in pieces, having tranquility instead of drama and toxicity, you know, and loving yourself instead of having fake love, and love bomb and people love bombing you and stuff like that. Never allow pain and grief to stop you. Even though, it's scary, you don't know what to expect, you don't know the outcome, but you stick with it. It's just like when you get on a bike to ride, that first time you're never going to just ride. You're going to fall down, get up again, get on again, try again, and keep going. And what I emphasize here the most is therapy, finding a grief therapy to help you, because talking and telling the therapist how you feel, what you're going through, the different levels of grief and pain and trauma that you're having, all those things is an outlet for the pain. But if you stay in a corner grieving in depression, there's no outlet. You stay stagnated, stuck in that pain, and it has no place to go. So it's important to find outlets to the pain. Music is a healing thing. Any of you who play the piano, do play or interested in it, take piano lessons. Invest in yourself instead of um, prioritizing investing in other people. Invest in you. You will be happy that you did in the end, because as you start to feel better, you do better, and then you start to take care of yourself better. We can always get through grief. We never get over the loss, but we can get through it. And that's what I emphasize here on this channel. So invest in yourself is so important. And it's nothing wrong to say to people, hey, I need time to be alone for a minute so that I can get myself together. There's nothing wrong with saying that. We're human. We all have something that we're working on. So never be too hard on yourself. Just start the process on doing the work, and persevere always. That's the message today. Please share this video with other people, because some people need to hear it. I was talking to someone earlier today who's going through grief. And, I'm inviting people to this channel as well, because even though I'm not a licensed or certified therapist, I'm a person who had a lot of grief, and I persevered through it. And information I share here may help you as well. So thank you all for being here today. And I will be back tomorrow with a new message. Hit that subscribe button, leave a comment, and hit the like button as well. Thank you again for being here. I'm really grateful to see people showing up on the channel. And hopefully we'll have more in the near future. You guys have a great day, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now.